Hello, hello, hello. 20 Sanity. Today is National Mint Day, aka National Peppermint Day. Time to have some more candy. Insanity. February 19th, National Mint Day, Peppermint Day, Peppermint Day, Peppermint sticks. Okay. Which is actually not to be confused with National Candy Cane Day, which is sometime in December. But if you ever go out and about in January, you can get the candy canes for super cheap, maybe even free. I'm taking this opportunity to conclude this little Funko Insanity collection of Candyland. I didn't grow up with this game. I've never played this game. But I've referenced this game in at least 4 videos on Mint Day, last year, Gumdrop Day, Licorice Day, and Gingerbread when we ate some gingerbread cereal. But look at, I finally got it. I did actually get it. I've gone over these bios, like I said, 4 times. Or at least parts of the bios 4 times. I got the game. I finally got the game. 1999 version, found at a thrift store. We paid $3 whole. It is complete. Maybe I should play it. No, I think it's missing one of these. Now, we're also taking this opportunity of finally unboxing Queen Frostine and King Candy. Now the astute viewer will notice I don't have the player piece because I don't want the player piece. Maybe one day I'll get the player piece. I think it's ugly. I think it's inconsistent. But maybe one day I'll get the player piece if they finally make Princess Lolly, Grandma Nut, and my main man, Molasses Monster Gloppy. Until then, if ever, I'm fine with just these 6. Okay, we're finally gonna. You know, I thought about doing these 2 on National Cake Day, which is in late November. Of course, National Candy Day is it's November 4th. That's a thick, chunky pop. My gosh. Look at that, dude. Finally happy to have opened it. I don't know why it never worked out on Cake Day. I probably just didn't want to buy a whole cake for illustrative pop and product purposes. Poppy, are you eating peppermint? I thought they hated peppermint. Okay, we're doing all the bios today. I'm so happy to finally have the vintage box. Once upon a time, King Candy, the imperial head bonbon and grand jubilee of Candy Land, disappeared. It was a bright, sunny morning, and to everyone's surprise, the king and his fabulous candy castle simply were no longer where they should be. Okay? A lost king is so distressing, says Plumpy, the last of the Plumpatrolls, as he shoves a juicy gingerbread plum into his mouth. Plumpy is the caretaker of the gingerbread plum trees, and his job is to gather up all the ripe plums that fall from the trees. But ever since the king's disappearance, Plumpy does more eating than gathering, growing more plump and more glum with every bite of a plum. I talked about in the video on that figure how a lot of people grew up hating him because apparently when you get sent back to start, something goes wrong in their life, Okay, something goes wrong down here. You get sent back to Plumpy. But continuing our biographic quest, we're going to today's homie, Mr. Mint, the Peppermint Lumber Jack and keeper of the Royal Peppermint Forest, also thinks the situation is somewhat sticky. Mr. Mint cuts down big red and white peppermint trees into bite-sized whistles and flutes, creating the sweetest sounding musical instruments ever. My peppermint piccolos have been rather off-key ever since the king left, says Mr. Mint. I certainly hope he returns soon. I imagine that's how he speaks.
Hey, what are my gumdrop mountains?
Moans Jolly, the official Gumdrop Mountain greeter.
They just don't glisten and glow the way they used to.
Indeed, the pastel-colored, sugar-crusted range grows paler and paler every day the king's away. You never made Grandma Nut?
Oh, do cheer up,
says the ever-hopeful Grandma Nut, who lives in the peanut brittle house. Grandma believes that a very special little girl and boy can find the missing king in his castle right at the end of the Candy Land path if they look hard enough.
But whoever can take these very special children be?
She asks. Funko, do Grandma Nut. Jeez Louise, she's been replaced in modern versions also. But this is all about retro toys. How you gonna not do the whole set? Continuing on.
I know just the twosome to find my father.
The missing king, says Lolly, of the Princess Lolly, the Lollipop Woods. In a voice as light and airy as the fluffiest marshmallow, she says,
They're the Candyland kids. Courageous, clever, and ever so determined.
My goodness.
They'll never find the king or his castle,
Lord Licorice says sourly.
For I've hidden him from sight, so all of Candyland will be mine. His heart is as hard as a rock candy, always gloomy, ever grim. Lord Licorice lives very much alone.
Okay, that wasn't a quote. From the bitter chocolate bats at his side. Check it. Utter nonsense, Queen Frostine says of Lord Licorice's evil plan. Peacefully adrift on an ice cream float in the ice cream sea. Okay, we could have done this on ice cream day. Well, last year we had to make ice cream from scratch out of a GPK cookbook. But you never know. I had to get rid of those boxes, man. And no matter how many times Lord Licorice plots and plans, Candyland will sparkle once again. Delightful. And then Funko, their infinite wisdom, never made. Dude, that would have been the best seller of the set.
When the kids pass my molasses swamp, the king and his castle will soon be found.
Oozes Gloppy, the kindly molasses monster who is definitely more goosome than gruesome. Look at this dude. Look at this. That's okay. When you make it to his swamp, you about to win. All of Candyland is ready to help the Candyland kids find the king. Even the gingerbread men from the Cookie Patrol have offered to act as guides. The gingerbread men from the Cookie Patrol. Plumpy. The gingerbread plum tree forest. Now we're going into the peppermint forest. There's Mr. Mint taking down all them candy cane sticks. Now there's Buzzy. We're continuing on, sailing on. Gumdrop Pass. Looks like a shortcut with God, what was his name? Jolly. Oh, it says right there. And then we got to get past Lord Licorice. And then we got to go to the peanut brittle house of Grandma Nut. The house that Funk built. Lollipop Woods. And then there's Princess Lolly. How did that escape Funko's grip on pop culture? Queen Frostine in the Ice Cream Sea Candy Castle with King Candy. King Candy, King Candy, King Candy, King Candy. Look at this chunky boy. Pussy. That's what I'm talking about right there. All right, finally done them. Finally opened them. Very dope. Mr. Mint. Mr. Mint, are you with me? Buzzy. Signing out. thumbs up. Goodbye.